What's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well, and we have a bunch of recent news to go over today. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you a calculator that I launched yesterday at cryptotaxreality.com. So really cool, I'm excited to show you. Alright, so first up, we had SoFi drop this yesterday supporting XRP deposits. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with SoFi. SoFi Stadium, if you watch any NFL or MLB, you see them everywhere. And according to Google AI, if you want to trust this, they have over 13 million customers as of last year, or maybe even this month. So we have XRP deposits now available alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Manage your portfolio in one app with the First National Chartered Bank. Now, I've seen some criticism online, and rightfully so, adding XRP deposits, but not actually allowing users to withdraw their assets to their own wallets. Now, we end up seeing a lot of platforms do this, so this critique is completely fair, but keep in mind, we are seeing adoption, and interoperability is the end goal. And at least according to this blog article, we can see SoFi's support page confirms that the crypto platform does not permit transfers to outside wallets. The ability, my voice still goes in and out. The ability to withdraw digital assets, however, will soon be available, so at least it appears to be in the works, at least according to the SoFi spokesperson. And speaking of interoperability, we got this news the other day, XRP is live on Solana. So we have WXRP or Wrapped XRP. And this is all enabled by Hex Trust and Layer 0, so really driving liquidity cross-chain for XRP. And a little background, just looking at Solana today, their TVL is over $5.7 billion. Now their all-time high I think was like 12 or like over 13, as we can see right there. And remember this, from last year we have right here, XRP Unchained, Hex Trust launches WXRP with $100 million locked. So basically, back in December in Hong Kong, we had Hex Trust, a regulated digital asset platform for institutions and a qualified custodian, so that is important to note. Announced it will issue in custody wrapped XRP 1-to-1, backed representation of XRP, the actual native asset on the XRP ledger, to support DeFi activity. And we can see launching with over $100 million in TVL. So point being is that our DeFi access is getting better with cross-chain liquidity, everything will be interoperable. But remember, Ethereum is the big one, so like if we go up to the search bar and just look at Ethereum, compared to Solana, keep in mind Solana is $5.7 billion, now when we go to Ethereum we can see $46 billion, and its all-time high all the way back in 21 was over $100 billion. We really need another hype cycle like we've had in the past to see DeFi actually create a new all-time high, referring to total value locked. Now, per usual, every time there is lack of price action, a market crash, people think the crypto asset class is dead. It isn't. There is building going on. Here we have the XRP price chart on the weekly time frame. So I have this in this parallel channel or pitchfork. We know the last two times that XRP exploded, omitting this time, was when Bitcoin dominance crashed. And what's weird about this cycle, or lack thereof, is we've yet to see Bitcoin dominance crash. If anything, it's climbing. And just remember that people were bearish on XRP when it was half a penny. People were bearish when XRP crashed to 11 cents. And now people are bearish long term, which is crazy to me, when we were sitting over $1. When in doubt, zoom out. Remember, there are a million things going on, with Ripple Prime doing over $3 trillion every single year. We have Ripple Treasury already showing substantial payments volume. Remember, the majority of this is meant to be in the US dollar or fiat, and they're trying to basically unify and connect digital assets to this. We have Ripple Custody, and then even potentially the Ripple National Trust Bank Charter. There's a lot going on at all angles, way beyond just RWAs and DeFi. And friendly reminder, right on XRP Scan, we can look at the balances, we can type in Ripple, and we already know that Ripple owns billions of XRP, the majority of it is in escrow. So yes, it is absolutely in Ripple's best interest for the price of XRP to be higher in the future. Now stick with me here, and if you guys want to see something crazy, look at the XRP ledger on DeFi Llama, only $50 million, so that is peanuts compared to Solana and Ethereum. Now remember, this is referring to, yield farming and DEX activity and lending, so not a huge deal. I want it to grow, but what I'm most excited about is RWA.xyz for the XRP ledger, where their distributed asset value is over $500 million, 10 times bigger. Now we're seeing cross-chain liquidity and interoperability improve, so I absolutely do want to see DeFi activity improve for the XRP ledger, but this is where the money is. So you can click through this and look at the platforms for the RWA league table for the XRP ledger. You can look at represented, distributed, we'll just look at all. You can go to asset classes, see commodities number 1, and then even look through the managers. But let's look at the platforms. So first, we have this Just token. This is the largest platform on the XRP ledger. It is some type of agriculture, agribusiness company in Argentina, basically turning electricity into digital tokens. I don't think there's many wallets that hold it. It seems like a closed system, almost like an accounting system that uses the XRP ledger, or at least lives on the public chain. You already know the Ripple US dollar, backed by the NYDFS, fully regulated, BNY custodian, etc. Next, we have Vert Capital right there. This is a fintech company in Brazil. So we can see this is like a credit market helping farmers get loans on the XRP ledger. So basically what this Vert company did is they took this paper system and put it on the XRP ledger. So all these loans that are given to farmers in Brazil, they get bundled into an investment product. And investors can buy a slice of, hundreds or thousands of different farm loans, and by owning those loans, they earn interest as the farmers pay it back. And we know that agriculture is a huge business in Brazil. Next, we have Ondo Finance. So I'm sure you guys are already familiar with Ondo. This has been around for a while, but basically bringing tokenized treasuries to the XRPL with their token OUSG, which stands for the Ondo Short-Term US Government Treasury. And this one I really like. This is Control-Alt. So obviously we already did a video going over this, but basically Ripple tokenizing $280 million in Dubai diamonds, with the tokenization firm being Control-Alt and Ripple-backed custody technology. And don't forget all of this with this Dubai real estate tokenization project, so Control-Alt and the company Ripple. Next, we have Mercado Bitcoin. This is one of the largest exchanges in Brazil. So they're not just a typical exchange, they're also tokenizing regulated financial products like stocks, bonds, private credit, loans, you get it. Now this one, the CRX Digital Assets, I really don't know too much about this group. Just opening it up, we can see this is a B2B infrastructure stack for Brazil's institutional RWA markets. We already went over the Ripple Mercado Bitcoin partnering for cross-border payments. I've covered that a bunch, but going to crxassets.ai, this is the one that I'm curious about because I don't really know too much. We can see for tokenized assets over $600 million. And with CRX Digital on the XRPL, we have over 100 million. So at least at face value, it looks like a company working on tokenizing RWAs in Brazil and leveraging Ripple custody. We also have Brasa Crypto. And if you're seeing a trend, a lot is happening in Brazil. So basically they have this BBRL stablecoin pegged to the Brazilian real on the XRPL. So really just like more cross-border utility for Brazil for anybody that needs to pay somebody else overseas. Use the blockchain, use the XRP ledger in seconds. We already know Open Eden right there, we've covered this one a lot, with their tokenized US Treasury bills on the XRPL. And last but not least, we have this group, Z Economy. Opening this up, we can see enhancing value, utility, blah blah blah. And we can see this from back in June, we have this economy-powered DCP marks the first native issuance of digital commercial paper on the XRP ledger. So from my understanding, this is like a technology partner. And one of their biggest customers is this group, Guggenheim, or Guggenheim Capital. So we can see back in September 2024, that's as far back as I'm going to go, I swear, we have the expansion of the XRP ledger built on DCP's initial launch. It has already processed over $280 million in issuance. So all this DCP, or digital commercial paper, is basically short-term corporate debt. So point being, a lot is happening in the RWA space, especially if we get the Clarity Act to go through. Alright, next up, so we just got some news that just came out on Access Newswire. And right in the headline, they say stocks and ETFs are coming soon to iTrustCapital. It's finally happening, baby. They are adding more and more assets and asset classes. So down below, we have crypto assets, obviously 90 plus, 24/7. We have precious metals, and now we have stocks and ETFs. And they specifically mention Tesla, Apple, and Coinbase. I'm really excited for this because this is paving the way for tokenization, new asset types, lending, yield opportunities, even RWAs available on iTrust at some point. And for anybody that might not already have an account on iTrust, this is linked in the top of the video description and in the first link in my link tree. I've been with them for over 6 years now, and there are several different account types to choose from, whether you just wanted a PCA, a treasury account, or an IRA. Now, not financial advice, this is just my opinion for my situation. If I'm choosing an IRA, I'm going Roth IRA. I'm not choosing a traditional IRA. If I'm in the crypto asset class and I'm swinging for a home run, I want those profits to grow tax-free. And it's super easy to get started. You click Get Started. You put in your name, your email, and create a password. You choose the type of account you want. You choose the funding method, whether it's a rollover or just a cash contribution. You sign the agreements, and voila, you're done. And then you can buy 24/7, 365, and in a Roth IRA, everything grows 100% tax-free. Alright, now let's dive into CryptoTaxReality.com. I'll put the link right in the pinned comment if you want to go check it out. And you guys know I'm big on diversification. I don't believe in just holding one single asset in one single asset class in one single place. So for example, I mean, if you're in the crypto space, don't just hold one single asset. Obviously you can diversify and hold multiple different types of crypto assets. You can hold assets from other asset classes. And most importantly, how you custody those assets. Don't just rely on self-custody, losing your private keys, or getting hacked. Don't just rely on a crypto exchange, and don't just rely on a single qualified custodian. And taking it a step even further, think about the investment vehicle that you're using. Because if you're holding crypto in a taxable account, but you don't also have a Roth IRA, you're leaving a bunch of money on the table. So let me show you down below, so you can visit CryptoTaxReality.com and plug in your own numbers. I'll probably end up doing more dedicated videos going through different math examples, but I'll just show you how it works. When your crypto grows, the government wants a cut, and this calculator is going to show you and compare taxable accounts to an IRA, both a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. And this can apply to any asset that grows. It doesn't just have to be crypto. So these are the default inputs, and we'll just walk through this. So let's just say you have a starting balance of $15,000. And feel free to read the little notes or tooltips that I have for each one. So let's say you have a starting balance of $15,000. You have a monthly contribution of $500 that you're adding to that portfolio every single month. And this is going to be growing over 10 years, and we have an expected annual return of 18%. Now remember, the S&P basically is around like 10% per year, but when you look at Bitcoin or even the crypto space in the CAGR, the compounded annual growth rate, I mean, it is just way higher. So looking at the income tax rate, the long-term capital gains, retirement withdrawal rate, and then the annual tax drag. Now for crypto, the annual tax drag, I mean, maybe it's 1%, I mean, maybe it's even like 0.3%, so maybe it's not that high, but this could be for, yield income and lending, it could be airdrops, it could be staking rewards. And in traditional markets, I mean, think of it basically as tax drag being the haircut that you get from dividends that pay you, distributions, anything that's a short-term gain. So you'd input the dollar amount to look at this for somebody that has a taxable account, a Roth IRA, and a traditional IRA with the same exact amounts. And when we click calculate, we're going to get this number and compare those three different accounts. So we can see after adding $15,000 for 10 years and then contributing $500 every single month for 10 years. Based on that annual growth return, and keep in mind, I mean, you can click 5x, you can click 10x, whatever you want to look at what that type of annual return would be compounding. So this is all based on the years to grow. I mean, you could put 15 years for all you care. So I can reset to defaults, and now we're going to look at this. So after 10 years, your total contribution would be $75,000. So we can see between a taxable account, a Roth IRA, and a traditional IRA, the Roth IRA wins. And as we scroll down, I added some nice tooltips so we can see the taxable, the Roth IRA over the 10 years. And just watch how it grows. The bigger the account gets, obviously the more tax savings you're going to have in a Roth. And then we have taxes by breakdown, obviously tax drag for the taxable accounts, traditional, the withdrawal tax, and then a Roth IRA wouldn't have anything. With $0 in estimated taxes. So I made this tool for anybody that just wants to run the numbers for free. You don't have to put in your email, no information is saved, it's just a free dashboard or a free estimate. And please remember that this website is just a free tool based on the assumptions or inputs that you put in. This is not tax advice, investment advice, or anything like that. And please, 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 before making any financial decisions with your money, always consult a qualified professional. So you can really play with these numbers. I even added these toggles. So quick scenario, what if this runs? So if it runs over 2x over 10 years, that basically has an expected annual return of over 7%. Now in my opinion, considering the S&P 500 is 10, even 11%, that's pretty low. So you can play with the numbers, look at what a 5x is, that's about 17% per year. You can see a 10x is 25, and then a 20x is 34%. And remember, if you think those numbers are hypey, they're not when you look at the CAGR for Bitcoin over the past 10 years, showing 75 to 94% CAGR for Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 at 9.5 to 13%. So anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and feel free to check out this website, cryptotaxreality.com. It's right in the pinned comments. Thank you so much for watching, hit that like button, and until next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.